I will be sharing all the data collected during observations with you. And I wanted to make sure that you had an opportunity to hear how you might be able to interpret it. It is a lot of data, and I think it makes sense only to me. So when I share these documents with you, I want to make sure that you have the opportunity to understand what I'm sending you. I've got two examples here. The first one is from a self-contained class, and this first row is just there's going to be a link to this video here. These rows are all of the overall data collected, and you will notice that if the box is green, that means that the data is at or above mastery. Now, in some cases, I may not have collected the data, so we will get to that in just a second. You can tell how. I am working on fixing it so that if I don't collect the data, there won't be anything in the box. Over here is the amount of time. So I started this observation at 10:54 and I ended at 11:48 for a total of 54 minutes. In this box, I don't have anything, but on some occasions, I will put a narrative in there, comments, questions, anything that I feel like I need to explain. Then we get into where I actually collect the data. You're going to notice some boxes over here with a minus in them, and I'm going to show you how that collects different pieces from a section so that I can close and open it. The purpose of the observation was to meet a requirement. The lesson outcome, if I see it posted on a board somewhere, I will put it in this box, and if I hear it stated, this box will be checked. The feedback that's desired, this teacher asked me to provide her with some numerical data, so that's what she got. In some cases, if I don't know, I just leave these blank. The group, I differentiate between whether it's an academy teacher or a veteran teacher. Here, where it says what data will be collected, that's how you can tell up here whether or not it's truly been observed and there's a 0, or whether it's not been observed at all. So for example, you can see here that I did observe for CLS, but I did not, up here in this box, see any pieces of it. You can see obviously there are 3 things I did not collect data on. These are the parts of the class or the lesson that I was there for. So I was there for the beginning and the middle. Unfortunately, I had to leave before the end. And how I will share the data depends upon whether or not you have time to have a conversation with me or whether I'm going to send it to you only electronically. If you're co-teaching, this box will be clicked, and that's our next example. So I'm going to click on this to close that section. In this section, you're going to see all of the numerical data. So the date, the number of kids that were in class when the lesson started, and the amount of time. Now, this is just the amount of time that I collect the numerical data. So it's simply a snapshot in time. Sometime during this 54 minutes up here, I took 10 minutes out and I counted some things. You can see that I count behavior infractions, positive feedback, corrective feedback, individual responses, group responses, and the students who appear to be on task. And when I get down here, it tells me that what the behavior infractions were, the praise ratio, the opportunities to respond, and the real learning index. The real learning index is based upon the number of kids who appear to be engaged, but I want to caution you because just because they look like they're engaged doesn't mean they are. And just because they don't look like they're engaged doesn't mean they aren't. So keep in mind that that is definitely not necessarily an accurate reading. So I'm going to close that, and then I'm going to get down and close your data piece. Now I'm going to get down to some of the pieces that SSD uses. So this is the universal checklist. You can see this teacher had the majority. Again, keep in mind, just because I didn't see differentiation doesn't mean that teacher's not doing it. Just means it wasn't there that day or I didn't know what I was looking for. Same thing with assessment and classroom learning system. It might be in place, I just didn't see it, and that's perfectly fine. Here's the classroom learning system. Here's the environment. So I'm looking here and she has the majority of those environmental pieces. This is explicit instruction. Because I was there for the beginning and the middle of the lesson, you'll see that these are shaded in green. Because I had to leave before the end of the lesson, these are still white. Now again, I'm working on changing this average so that it only calculates the ones that I'm actually there for, but I'm not done with that yet. So I did not collect data for the advanced part of explicit instruction, and she wasn't co-teaching, so I didn't collect data for that. I didn't have the opportunity to talk to students because I didn't want to interrupt their learning, but just so you know, these are the things I ask. This box will indicate if I actually talk to that kid, so then it turns the whole thing blue, and then I can click on which ones the student is able to answer. On this second tab down here at the bottom are interactions. So what I generally do is kind of map out the room when I get there, and I kind of figure out where there are kids actually sitting. So in this situation, the teacher's desk was over here. There were 3 kids, 2 kids, 3 kids, and then I usually put where I was. So every time the teacher has an interaction with a kid, I will then click on the box. It might be a verbal interaction, it might be a look or a signal or something that indicates that teacher is connecting with that kid. So that's what it looks like for a self-contained. Here's an example of a co-taught. You're going to notice it doesn't look that much different. You still have all of your totals up here at the top. This one does have some narrative. I did collect for some different things. But as you're looking, you'll notice that the big difference will be in this numerical data. It's very hard when you're co-teaching to be able to really watch what the special educator is doing versus what the general educator is doing. And it depends on how you're co-teaching at the moment. It could be that the gen ed teacher is leading the majority of the instruction, so that means that you aren't going to have a whole lot of opportunities for positive feedback. I struggle back and forth. If anybody has a better idea for how to do this in a co-taught setting, I am totally open to hearing it. But please know that when we're in a co-taught setting, I frequently feel like I am collecting data on what the gen ed teacher is doing as opposed to what the special educator is doing. So I certainly understand, for example, in this situation, I wasn't able to collect the routines on the universal checklist because I didn't see them posted anywhere, and yet there's every possibility that the special educator didn't have any power or control over that. So keep that in mind when you're looking at these related to a co-teaching. I didn't do the learning system. I did environment. I did not do explicit instruction because the special educator was not teaching. And then I did do the co-teaching piece. So these are a rating scale that SSD has provided. Again, keep in mind, it's what I can see on the day in the moment. And I didn't do student interviews. This interactions was a little bit harder because these kids were not in rows, they were in pods. So that's something I'm going to need to fix on my form. Keep in mind that when I'm done, you and I are the only two who can see this data. So when I'm done, I will share it with you, and it's your data. If you want me to share it with someone else, I'm happy to do that. If not, I'm also happy to do that. So I will leave that totally up to you. If you have questions or need help interpreting the data, please reach out. I'm more than happy to always talk about data. I hope this is useful, and I look forward to watching you all teach.